Have the West Virginia Mountaineers found their rallying cry for the 2024 season? And are they once again being disrespected by the outside world? Well, we're going to talk about that right after this word from my sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you. What is up? Welcome into Couz's Corner. Come on in, belly yourself up to the bar, and let me serve you up another shot of top shelf college football content. If you like top shelf college football news and analysis about West Virginia, the Big 12, or conference realignment, you're in the right place. Do not turn that channel. Let's get on with the show. Last year, we all remember this very popular speech from country music singer Charles Wesley Godwin, the one he made to the West Virginia team before the season.
They picked you all 14th. They picked you 14th. They must have forgot who you are.
14th. It's what this team used for a rallying cry the entire season. They used it to have that chip on their shoulder. They used it to motivate them, and it led them to a 9-4 season. The best season since Neil Brown took over the job. They seemingly turned the corner. They were playing. They were just a much better football team, and that 14 helped to drive that home. They talked about it all season long. They're still talking about it. It drove them. Well, and I've been thinking throughout the whole offseason, what is it this year that these guys can use to drive them? Because they're starting to get a little bit of respect, at least, especially within their own fan base. And there are a few from the outside respecting them a little more. Then I see this. FanDuel puts out their 2024 over-under win totals for the 2024 football season. And as you see on the screen, they picked West Virginia to win 6.5 games. 6.5. A team that returns almost their entire offense from last year. Now, they are losing Zach Frazier. They are losing Doug Nestor off the O-line. I understand that. But they're bringing back 3 of their 5 starters on the offensive line. They're bringing back both of their top running backs. They're bringing back almost their entire receiving corps, with the exception of Devin Carter. And most importantly, they're bringing back their starting quarterback, who is one of the top 10 returning quarterbacks in the country, according to Pro Football Focus. And they're bringing back a lot of key pieces on defense. Aubrey Burks, Sean Martin, just to name a couple. So why in the world would you predict this team to win 6.5 games? Then I thought, well, maybe it was a schedule. Is it the schedule? And I'll put the schedule on the screen for you right now so you can look at it as well. But when you look at the schedule, and we've talked about this here on the show as well, but when you look at the schedule, yes, it's a tough schedule. They play Penn State. They play Pitt. They play Kansas, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Kansas State, Arizona, Baylor, Texas Tech. Tough schedule. But 7 of those games are home games. They have 7 home games in 2024. So I'm going, a team who brings back almost their entire offense, including their quarterback, a senior quarterback to boot, and they play 7 games at home. How can you pick them to win only 6.5 games on the entire season? So it got me to wondering, so how good is West Virginia at home? Are they as good at home as I think they are? So I dug into the numbers. Since Neil Brown got to West Virginia in 2019, West Virginia's home record is 19-10. That includes the 2020 pandemic year. They are 19-10 at home. That means they have won basically 2/3 or 66% of their home games. Now, if you take the fact they play 7 home games in 2024, that averages out to about 4.6 wins at home. Then I look at their road games. They win about 33% of their road games. Makes sense, right? If you look at that at the 2024 schedule, they play 5 away games. That averages out to about 1.6 wins. You add those two numbers together, 4.6 plus 1.6, guess what you get? 6.2. round up to 6.5. 6.5 wins for the Mountaineers. So now it actually starts to make a little bit of sense. I still think they're going to do much better than that. I think they'll win at least 8 games in 2024. But if you're Vegas and you're looking at the metrics and you're looking at how they do at home versus how they do away, West Virginia does have a tendency to struggle on the road historically, especially in the Neil Brown era. So maybe Vegas has them losing all but one of their road games. That's 4 losses right there. That's 8-4. They're probably not. They're looking, saying that they're probably not going to go undefeated at home. Drop 1 or 2 home games, that puts you at 6 or 7 wins. There's your total, 6.5. So I actually don't have as much of a problem with this now as I did 24 hours ago. When I sat down to do research for this video and dug into the numbers, I actually changed my opinion. I think 6.5 is about right if you're looking at this with pure statistics and looking at the history and looking at it from the standpoint of Vegas and from the outside. Now, again, because I follow this team closely, I know what they have coming back. I know how hungry they are. And obviously, I'm also probably a little biased. I'll admit that. I do think they will win more than 6.5 games. I'm confident in that. I think they'll win 8 at least, if not more. But I do totally understand where that 6.5 win total comes from. But I do still think this team can use that for motivation, because I know deep in their heart they feel like they're better than a 6.5 win football team. So they need to take that and wear it like a badge of honor. 6.5. 6.5. Wear that with a badge of honor. Vegas thinks we're worse than we were a year ago. The nation thinks we're worse than we were a year ago. And I can't wait till the Big 12 standings come out in the summer. I'll be really interested to see what that shows. Remember last year, that's what they got picked 14th. That's what drove the whole conversation. So I'll be interested. I don't think they're going to get picked 14th again, but will they pick them to win 6.5, 6 or 7 games just like Vegas? Or will they pick them to be a little better? We'll see. As a fan, yes, sometimes we feel disrespected, but at the same time, you also like to have a little bit of bulletin board material for this team to use going into the season. Maybe this is it for this team, even though deep down, I don't really have much of an issue with the number. What do you think, though? I want to hear your thoughts on this in the comment section. Do you think 6.5 is too low for this team, or do you think it's about right? Do you think it's fair when you look at the schedule, number of home versus number of away games, and just the trend of this Mountaineer football team? What do you think? I want to hear your thoughts. Also, I want to give a shout out to my VIP channel members here at Couz's Corner. These are the paid members. It's an easy way to support the channel. It's $2.99 a month or $4.99 a month. The 4 member shout outs for this show: Sasquatch 304, Browns and Beers, PW Riggs, and Travis Anderson. Thank you all for your membership to the channel. Thank you for your support, and thank you for helping me keep the lights on here at Couz's Corner. If you want to watch another video about West Virginia Mountaineer football, watch this one. Have a top shelf day and Q Country Roads.